Hi, my name is Teal Francis, and I am the Programs and Communications Coordinator at Fairbanks Arts Association. Today, I'm thrilled to be recording an artist talk with one of our February 2021 exhibitors, Olena Ellis. Olena is a ceramic sculptural artist living and working in Fairbanks, Alaska. She holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from the University of Alaska Fairbanks and was an artist in residence at the Beatrice Wood Center in Ojai, California. Olena's work has been featured in the publications Ceramics Monthly and Mosaic Art Today. Her exhibition, OMGoddess, was created in response to 2020, as society was pushed into uncomfortable and uncharted territory between politics, pandemic, loss, and isolation. OMGoddess is on display in the Bear Gallery from February 5th to the 26th, 2021. Now I'll turn it over to you, Olena.
Thank you, Teal. Thank you for that great introduction. And as I'm sharing, I would also like to thank the Fairbanks Arts Association for the invitation to present my work in the Bear Gallery. OMGoddess, or OMGoddess, the title of this exhibition was chosen after my journey through the making and self-discovery of OMGoddess. I've been working with the goddess figure for a while, and as I prepared for this show, my intention was to create goddesses. I had one of those catchy and hard to nail down titles picked out like intuition. However, this body of work and being socially distanced at home, a whole different show came out of the process than intended. Om represents creation, manifestation, and destruction. OMG brings direct attention to the goddess. The creation of this show encompassed all the above. I work intuitively and spontaneously around subject matters that affect not only women, but all humans. However, I tell it from a female perspective, as that is who I identify as. I explore how we define and redefine our places within society and how we make decisions based on past experiences or triggers within our lives. I create conversations or bring light to life topics through the details, symbols, and the stories we are connected to. There are 49 pieces of work in this show, unintentionally. However, the number 49 is significant in nearly all spiritual traditions and refers to a sacred cycle of transformation, which was definitely the process in the making of this show. Excuse me. A large creative inspiration for my work is the Neolithic period, especially Jomon pottery. I find comfort in a truth in primitive sculptures and ceramics from ancient cultures from around the world. As humans, I feel we have unconscious or primitive responses to events and others. Through my work, I aspire to bring life and our reactions to it together within my art. I draw inspiration from nature, as it is where I go to slow down, and it always simplifies life for me to focus on what is important. It is these moments when gratitude and abundance feel most powerful. As a young girl, nature was where I felt most comfortable and at home. I was the child who swept the forest floor and created rooms and furniture for the wildlife in the rooms I created. I've always loved the feel of my feet touching and grounding me with the earth. I cannot think of a bigger goddess than Mother Earth. Another place of solace for me is in or around water. It is a calming balm and it touches my soul, allowing me to breathe deeper. I've been the type of person who believes drinking from a fire hose is a way to feel alive. I could not hear over the chaos and noise of my overcrowded schedule. One could say I was addicted to motion. There was a sense that the doing and busyness would keep me safe, not taking into account that they also can keep you numb. Through the creative process of this show, I learned that part of my job as an adult is to protect and preserve my authentic parts. However, to also stay in touch with the things that created wonder as a child, the natural, not logical places that make you feel alive and excited for each new day. Due to COVID, my crazy overscheduled life came to a screeching halt and I began working remotely. Purchased a small kiln, which has the inner dimensions of 11 inches wide and 13.5 inches deep. In the description of the kiln, they called it a small capacity, big features, and I was sold. My schedule stopped churning at breakneck speed and I slowed down to methodical, intentional work and firings for this show. Anyone who knows me knows that I do not work small and I love wide brushstrokes to life. This intentional slowing down meant that I could not get away from myself. Life was intentional. This image was a makeshift kiln room trying to get firings in before the snow started to fly. Shocking Blue is the first piece I created for this show. She has the curves in all the right places. However, when I pondered this further, I had the realization that no matter how much weight I lose or exercise I put in, I will never look like this. I thought about all the beautiful women in my life who I easily would refer to as beautiful goddesses, and they also do not have this figure. This piece is where the questions and the journey inward, investigating my beliefs and where they came from, began. This, of course, led to the inner journey of finding self, place, along with where and how I belong. To every action, there is a reaction, and this was mine to my first goddess. And the pandemic isolation beginning. Desert gold and reassessing were the next pieces created. As Robert Frost said, best way out is through. Social isolation began at the same time as these pieces, and the rest of this show was created in response to 2020. As a society, we were pushed into the uncomfortable and uncharted territory between politics, pandemic loss, and isolation. We were all affected differently. There was breaking down of society, beliefs clashed, families were politically split, loss of family and our friends, and I drew inside to find truth. Sometimes you need to rumble with the truth to find yourself. As the internal journey began, this vase titled Shallow Roots is a coil-built pot created with 5 different clays, symbolizing I'm not from one single place. My childhood and life has consisted of many, many moves, much more than 5. These places we live become a part of us and help create who we are. Even if born and raised in one place, many people have touched your life and helped create who you are today. The shallow roots refers to never putting roots down while a child, as moving was a part of my childhood, having attended 13 different schools before graduating as a junior. Shallow roots teaches you perseverance and the ability to integrate into new communities. However, usually at a distance in preparation for the next move. This pot has an intentional wobbliness to it, as when we don't have deep roots, it's easy to be uprooted. We have lived in our current home for 7.5 years, which is the longest I have ever lived in a single home. This piece, titled Enthroned, speaks about a circle of grandmothers who hold wisdom and ceremonially hold space for your growth. I was taught that our healing and what we do affects 7 generations forward and 7 generations back. My Nana was always quick to say, if you did not create the sun, you have no right to judge another girl. That statement has had a profound effect on my life. Also, grandmothers can mean great food. Women are vessels, whether through the birth of children or ideas, in their birth and hold the space. We all have one thing in common. A woman has given birth to you, giving you life. Think about that for a moment. Everyone needs a woman to be alive. Yet women look to the media and others for our approval, how to dress, how to act, how to behave, and the list goes on. We currently seek our self-worth from those we have given birth to. Women are usually the ones who are nourishing others around them, whether emotional, spiritual, or through food. I have children and have lost children. Space is still held and it does not go away. You always love them and dream about that distance not being there. This piece is titled Genes. It was an exploration of what it means to be a woman. How are our lives valued? The impossible treadmill and figuratively to be thin enough, or being told you're putting on some weight and do you really need that piece of pie? Are women's physical insecurities from familiar judgments or the continued overwhelming images of the media and society? This piece represents the need of shoulders large enough to hold and shoulder the burdens, while also maintaining the societal expectations of being seen but not heard. The spirals in this piece represent how in life we get caught in eddies. Just as you've seen a leaf or a stick caught in a river eddy, which looks like a little whirlpool. This happens when water flows back upstream against the current. This can happen in our own lives when it's time to move on and we are holding on to old patterns and working against the current of our lives. When our lessons are done, we pop out of that eddy and again begin the flow into our lives or down the river. Every human makes spectacular mistakes. Guilt, shame, and self-criticism are some of our most destructive emotions, which can keep us in these eddies, holding us back from our potential. There are many carved figures in this show representing the internal exploration, examining my beliefs, and revisiting where I have come from. The carving process is a visual of looking for answers to what it means to be a female in today's world. The media advertisements shouted us contradictory imagery and impossible expectations. The carved figures are attached to wood pieces from the boreal forest on our property, and just as a child, giving these figures a home. Although there are many carved pieces in this show, it was this piece that stopped me in my tracks. The insides of this piece have been literally carved out with a delicate cherry blossom branch down the center of its body and a fish as its tail lying on a piece of wood. All the exploration led to the hollowing out of others' voices of opinion on how I should behave, look, respond, and interact. The delicacy of a cherry blossom representing femininity, growth, and beauty. The koi fish tail representing abundance and perseverance, and the strength that the answers are there when we are still enough to explore and know ourselves. These three separate pieces represent the ocean on the left, titled Wholeness, nature on the right, titled Perfection, as nature or Mother Earth creates beauty. In the center is the grandmother, or woman's wisdom and intuition, and it is titled Completeness. When we as humans trust our own inner wisdom, we are living our authentic life. The media only lies about women's shortcomings to sell their products. You already have what you need, and it is inside, not costing you a cent. This piece is titled You Are Enough, and written in shorthand along the top and bottom of the vessel, it repeats this message. Goddesses on each side symbolize you already have what you need. You are enough. You are strong enough. You are worthy enough. You are good enough. This simple vessel is saying you already have everything you need. You are enough. Abundance is a large, hand-built, bulbous bowl. We have so much around us at all times. It is about stopping, taking a deep breath, and having gratitude for the abundance we are blessed with in our lives. These porcelain grandmothers share the understanding that when we are rooted in our truth, beauty will abound. Our lives become happier and brighter. As a society of women, it is our job to uplift the women around us. There is not a limited amount of resources available that we need to fight for. There is more than enough to go around, and if we share in this experience, those resources grow. We are the authors of our lives, and showing up is our superpower. Our own story is our way home. There is a Celtic tale about female Selkies who would change from seal to human form by shedding their skin. These Selkies were generally coerced into relationships with humans by someone stealing and hiding their seal skin. Women strongly connect with these tales, yearning for a part of themselves that they feel they have lost, or maybe a part of themselves they feel they might once have had but never knew. How many of us have lost skins to relationships, or in this world in which we do not feel at home, in which we cannot feel as if we belong? Everything we do in life is part of the plan. Through the carving process, many emotions came to light. However, one large repeating theme is that women and girls are not objects. We have a voice that matters and to be heard. There is no ceiling. References trusting in your flight toward your dreams, and written in shorthand around the figure is, there is no ceiling. There is no ceiling, and it repeats over and over. We, and as we, I mean every woman of every kind, including every color, shape, size, and sexual identity, deserve a place in this world. We belong in your conference rooms, and as Vice President of the United States. For now, VP, President is next. We birth you, and you have no right to hand us the big butt, big boobs, skinny waist, plump lips, and skinny hips checklist. Don't judge this next generation for being vain. Our media has trained them into thinking this is the formula to be beautiful. I'm here to say it's not your outer shell that holds your beauty, it is your soul. Your soul is your spirit, the essence of who you authentically are, and you are not a checklist. No one is a checklist. Goddess, you are beautiful and so much more than that. Do not believe our lives are blank slates. I do believe they are beautiful creations we make over time. Serenity signifies finding and following our own path and not the path created or deemed by others. Is there anything in your life that needs burning down to live your true life? Instead of hiding in busyness, live in the silence, your truth, and be bold. No one gets to give you a checklist. No one has the right to determine your self-worth. You are your own goddess. I see you and say, OMGoddess. Thank you for watching my artist talk, and feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media accounts or to email me directly. I'm going to turn this back over to Teal at this time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Olena. If you are able to, we encourage you all to grab your masks and come by the Vera Gallery to experience OMGoddess. The exhibition is on display from February 5th to the 26th, 2021, and the gallery is open Monday through Friday, noon to 6 p.m. Thank you for watching our Artist Talk with Olena Ellis.